Going. Going.
Run, 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 run.
Jumper. Do you like that?
Having knocked down over the past 30 years most of the chimneys within range of home, Fred Dibnah found himself travelling further and further afield for work. This morning, he was deep in the Yorkshire Dales.
Really, I've always liked climbing up church spires. There's something magical about them. Once you get right where the point is, it feels quite nice. It's unlike a chimney because, of course, you've not got the bulk of the thing in the way. And, like, the views are quite splendid.
What's it like?
Yeah, it's all rotten, you know. Sort of been in a long time.
Well, nearly 150 years.
Yeah.
It always seems such a dangerous job, you know.
Well, yeah, it is.
That's an understatement.
If you make a mistake, it's half a day out with the undertaker. The thing is, when I was a lad, you know, I used to be a joiner, and till I was 21, before I went insane and started this job. And the guy I worked for knew that I wanted to be a steeplejack, you see. And every time somebody fell off a chimney, he used to pin it on the back of the door. And by the time I was 21, the back of this door were full of pictures of dead steeplejacks. But I'm still here, you know.
Ah, yes, very much so.
Good thing you are.
Help! Terrible experience.
But you see, 150 feet up?
Yeah.
Well, Johnny can beat you at that. I mean, he lives about 2,000 feet up. Eh? Right in the sticks of Mallandale.
What do you do? Are you a farmer on top of this mountain?
Yes,
like?
yes.
Well,
Hilly-billy.
them woolly things. Them woolly things, of course, they make pullovers, I suppose.
Fred, this other church of mine here, if you look up above the clock, you'll see the louvers there.
A bit of a mess.
They're hanging out, almost falling out, and, you know, 500 years old. What do you reckon?
Time for renewal, I
Time
think.
for renewal? Gosh, I think so.
Yeah.
Fine, what about the cost?
I don't know. I wouldn't think you're going to have much change out to 600 or 700 quid.
That much?
Yeah, yeah.
For a few pieces
Damn
of
you.
wood?
Yeah, well, it don't look so big from down here when you get up there. Like they're 2 inches thick, and it is oak.
Oh, well, I'll let them know.
At time when he's bloody mahogany front door, it's 100 quid. Now, with the work getting further and further away from home, you know, find myself like booked into hotels, and I can remember at one time I used to get very overawed. You know, I didn't really like hotels. The communal eating part of it were always a bit frightening, not picking the right knife and fork up and being gazed upon by strange eyes. At the beginning of like the euphoria and excitement of a new job far from home, first sort of 3/4 of the week is all right, and then you begin to miss being at home. It's a bit like being a sailor, I suppose. Or you get on a ship and you disappear for 6 months. It's a strange life, you know, when you've been used to coming home for your tea at 5 o'clock every night for years and years and years. I get more and more frustrated with the fact that I can't get on with my tractor, you know. When you're working at home, after tea, if you only do half an hour in the shed, it's a little bit nearer. But when you've been away all week and you come home and you're a bit reluctant to zoom off into the shed in case you get a good talking to. Bit of a shouting at off Susie, you know, you've been away all week and now you've disappeared in the bloody shed, like.
And so, in the course of his summer travels, Fred arrived at the Victorian refuse destructor and sewage pumping station at Cambridge. It's many years now since the chimney was in use and the station pumped its last load of sewage to the treatment plant across the city. But the site has been preserved and meticulously maintained by a band of volunteers.
I think initially, when it were out of use and these lads first took over, they had some very unpleasant tasks, in so much they'd got to dig out the well, which of course were full of human sewage, and it had solidified, and they'd got to dig 40-odd foot of this stuff out of this hole. Well, all credit to them, you know, a lot of men had to give up, but they didn't, you know, they've done it and it actually works. They're all like live in a romantic world of long ago. It's like little lads who never grew up. I can't complain because I'm one myself. Like, really, they're like romantics trying to escape from, I think, modern life in a way. Right. Yeah. Oh, it's warm in here, isn't it?
Certainly is, yes.
Yeah.
This engine started work here in 1895.
Yeah.
It pumped over 2 million gallons of the drainage of Cambridge.
Yeah.
This had previously gone straight into the river.
Yeah. Oh,
This...
big improvement. This is the bit that sort of controls it all, is it?
Yes, this was.
Yeah.
This is known as the steam man, and this is where the driver would stand.
Yeah. It's a magnificently made thing, isn't it?
Oh, it's marvellous. The attention
ends
to
on the rods.
the detail. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes some lovely noises, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. The central features had a lot of time spent on it. That made it to look beautiful again. Must have looked magnificent when it were brand new, when they first uncovered it. Brilliant. Yeah, look at them beautiful chimney stacks. All that carving. Magic. Our town hall's got lion's heads on like them. When we mended it, we put some marbles in for eyes, you know. Don't suppose the stone's very hard, though, not like it is in Lancashire. Although it's weathered well, and when you think it's so old, eh? Them balustrades up there look a bit fragile, don't they? A good gust of wind, and it looks as though all had come down, but it must be all right, because they've been there a long time.
Avec toutes les choses qu'on trouve normalement dans des collèges, dans les années 50 du XVIe siècle. Au centre, c'est le porche original d'un collège qui a été là avant, un collège fondé par Édouard III, dont on voit la statue au-dessous de l'horloge. À gauche, le bâtiment Couvadelière.
It's very nice here in Cambridge. I like it very much, you know. It strikes me as it's quite a laid-back existence here, being an academic sort of student. I don't really know whether I'd like my sons to come here. It all depends on the academic ability, of course. I mean, I know men who have brilliant brains and have thick sons, and I know some, like, intelligent sons who have thick fathers, you know. There's no weighing it up, is there, really?
The trouble with chimneys these days is not only that they're few, but also, as Fred approaches 60, those that are left take more climbing.
Oh, I'm getting too old for this. People keep asking me that, you know, how long are you going to keep climbing up chimneys? And things like, do you still climb up chimneys, sort of thing. And I've got to do, because I've got a big mortgage, you know. I've got to keep going.
Income from the steeplejacking business has been going down over the past few years. A couple of reasons for this. Fewer jobs around and a lot more companies. Like sometimes in the winter we've banked maybe £2,000 or £3,000 over the whole winter.
Against the odds, Fred landed a big restoration job near home, which, tackled a few weeks at a time, would keep him in work through 1996 and beyond. This chimney is the biggest chimney left in Bolton. And I climbed up it when I was about 17 for a 10-bob bet in the dark. Never got the 10-bob, you know. And it's rather ironic, really, that now, in like the twilight years of my steeplejacking career,
40 odd years later, I've been asked to repair it. You know, it's now a listed building and all, and supposedly has got to stay here forever. When we finished repairing the chimney stack, we've been asked by the Royal Society for the Protection of Budgies to put this water tank, it looks like to me, but they call it a peregrine falcon's nesting box. And we've got to put this up on the southwest side, about 30 feet from the top, you see. Now, peregrine falcons do not like pigeons. You know, they have like one for breakfast, one for dinner, and one for the tea. And the local Homing Pigeon Society is a bit up in arms about it, and they really don't want me to put it up, you know. But me personally, I'm not over keen on pigeons because they put me in bed once for a week with some sort of disease I got off my cat that had been in a load of pigeon droppings.
Not pressed too hard by paid work, Fred expanded the collection of ancient industrial tackle in his backyard workshop.
It's always been a lifelong ambition of mine to actually build a wooden pit headgear and have it stuck up in the garden, you know, because quite near here there were quite a lot of collieries in the olden days, but of course they've all gone now, you know. So I've made this thing and I've put in for planning permission to erect it. And then hopefully at some date in the future we'll sink a 500-foot mine shaft and tunnel under the river and underneath the cemetery for the coal. Only a joke, that. Really, it's a garden ornament in memory of the miners who once lived in this area.
Hello? Has mine got no oil in?
Yeah, it's got oil in that, yeah.
I can't see it.
Yeah, well, pump the pump at the back and it'll come out.
The centre of attention in the yard was still the old steamroller, done up years ago as an expensive hobby, but now an essential prop in Fred's public appearances.
I think sometimes he struggles with the celebrity aspect of it, in that, you know, if we've got something down in the diary to go off and do a public appearance somewhere, when really he would quite like to be going off up a church steeple or in the garden doing something for himself. But I think he realises that, you know, we've got to do these things to earn ourselves enough money to keep ourselves at the winter time.
It's very odd, really, the celebrity business. Like at the beginning, it were quite frightening, you know, like 18, 19 years ago. I've got used to it now, and it doesn't bother me as much. And what do? If somebody waves to you, do you pull your face at them and look miserable and nasty, or do you give them a wave back? What, if you don't wave, you're a miserable bugger. If you wave, you're a big-headed bugger. What can you do? You're stuck, aren't you?
Fred, turn this way, lad.
You should have a martini.
Let's have it looking nice and happy.
The cat's not happy.
That's not happy.
No, it's a technical job, this painting.
In recent time, Dibner and Sons have been working to revive a home industry in weathercock making.
We'll lift it up and sort of, I'll bring it round this way, you know, and I'll come all the way down with it. All right, then. Yep. We'll see how we go. All right. But it was really weathercocks, well, actually weather vanes, that started my career in steeplejacking off. I'd come fresh out of the army and sort of set myself up as a steeplejack of sorts and never managed to get a job, you know, sort of thing, for 6 months. And then I was summoned to meet the Vicar of Bolton, a big tall fellow with a long black frock on. He was a cannon, you know, which I approached with a great deal of fear and trepidation. And I think the reason he liked me was the fact that he had a 1929 Humber car, and I arrived on my 1927 350 AJS motorbike, you see. And we got on quite well. He had another interest in common, firearms for a vicar, a bit unusual, but nevertheless. Anyway, we got the job of re-gilding these weather vanes, which enabled me to go and have a do at other vicars with a lot more confidence, and ended up nearly up every church spire in Bolton. It's about 30 years since I last put the gold on these. Somebody did them in between, actually, but they didn't do a very good job, you know. Yeah, let's stand them up, see how tall they are. Yeah. 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 Oh, yeah. See? Yeah. Hey, here we are.
It's nice to see you.
All right.
Yeah, it seems a long
There
time.
it is.
That looks super.
Great.
The ladder's not blown away yet.
Ian
so-
Ed, the headmaster.
It's nice to see you, Fred.
I'll get it and we'll
Yeah,
fix it up.
It
Beautiful,
looks
that.
really great, does that? It really does. I was going to say 6 months ago I saw the mock-up,
Right.
and
There
no,
it-
I thought,
there it is.
thought it might be a cock-up.
No.
No,
It's all right.
that's absolutely superb.
This really is the latest masterpiece in weathercock manufacturing. They get bigger and better every time, you know, and of course the price goes up. Like we've got these up to now like nearly £2,000, and putting the chimneys aside, I could go on making these till I'm about 95, you know. This is actually in remembrance of a gentleman who I once knew, and his widow's paying the bill for it, like sort of thing.
Fred's most promising line of late has been the restoration of other people's steam engines. He landed a few small jobs and then a very big one, to repair this world-famed giant of the road Atlas, owned by James Hervey Bathurst. It's a Fowler B6 tractor of 16.5 tons, built in 1928, now worth a small fortune.
Here we go, we'll put it to the test. I'll have a look at the bearings and see if they're getting warm. I'll buy one of these when Susie wins the pools.
What do you reckon it'll cost?
Well, maybe 80, 90,000 pounds, you know, something on that score. Castle.
At the house. I wasn't sure if you were going to actually come back. I wasn't sure if you were actually going to come back.
Well, I didn't really want to bring it back, you know. I've had so much fun with it back home in Bolton, you know, that I got quite attached to it. But I think we've cracked the bearings, you know. There's no blue smoke coming off them and everything.
Can we hear it ticking over then?
Yeah, give it a swing round, Bill.
Sounds fantastic.
Thank
you very much.
I'm quite happy with it myself.
Come and have a drink.
Go,
We'll play with it later.
Yeah.
People used to walk away from its side saying, lovely engine, pity about the knocks.
Yeah, this is some room, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, but a bit of an headache for your decorator.
And the cleaner, yeah.
Yeah.
55 foot high. It takes 10 hours to heat it.
Yeah.
10 degrees Fahrenheit.
Two fireplaces, one on each side, eh? Yeah. How much did it all cost when they built it, this place?
Well, it's difficult to know today's prices, but nearly £600,000, I think, then.
Yeah.
To sell quite a lot of land to build it.
Yeah, it's like still a lot of money in them days, eh?
Huge amount.
Yeah.
And of course, I think we'd rather wish they hadn't spent it sometimes.
Yeah, maybe like half the size, you mean, like. Easier to maintain.
Handier to maintain.
Yeah.
These are interesting. These are cast iron inserts.
Yeah, and with the oak in the middle, like. Yeah.
There's a lot of cast iron in the house. It's one of the first houses built with cast iron beams in it.
Yeah.
There's a shortage of oak at the time, actually, because they were apparently making ships for the Napoleonic War. So cast iron was all popular.
Oh, some beautiful slabs of stone, isn't they? Big.
I know. How do they lift them up?
Well, my word. Yeah, it's a long way up, isn't it?
Certainly is. There's a bit that I repaired.
Yeah. What, yourself, right? Yeah.
Well, it's not a big job.
You put the slates on.
No.
Good. Well, magic.
There you are, that's the view.
Yeah, and that's all your lake, is it?
It's all our lake, and on a misty day, what we own is as far as you can see. And the monument up there was put up by the builder of the house when his son was killed in the Peninsular War. It's one of mine.
However, did you become interested in iron monsters?
Well, I think it was in the blood, partly, because my grandfather was in the Grenadier Guards on the way to Omdurman, and the train broke down on the way in Egypt, and he got up on the footplate and got the fire going again. I think the Egyptians knew what they were heading for. So he got mentioned in the regimental history for that. And then he drove a shunter in Southampton docks in the Great Strike. And my father was always pretty interested.
Yeah. That means it's definitely in your blood, isn't it?
Yeah.
Without a doubt whatsoever.
Yeah. Then we bought a traction engine in Ireland, which was... We used that for thrashing for a bit. And then I bought a Foden steam lorry, which was derelict, and spent a lot of time doing that. That was really good fun. I wasn't married then, of course.
No.
My mother was very keen that I should get married. She thought it was time. So she used to come down weekends and help me paint it up. She thought there was no chance of me getting married if the engine wasn't finished. So when I did finish it, I did get married.
Like, have you had much trouble, like, since you got Atlas with the wife?
That's right, it's the same as the house, you know, it was in the prospectus in a way. But, I've known, I mean, a lot of people I've known have to sell engines for divorce. So I'm quite keen, I'm very keen on Atlas. I'm keen to keep keep washing up and looking after the children, taking them away from rallies.
I've actually...
I'm not there too much.
Yeah, I've actually started doing a bit of washing up now. I never did any before, you know, before the divorce.
Well, you're lucky, because you haven't got a stately home as well.
No,
so if you've got a stately home and several engines...
Yeah, that's double trouble.
You're in real, you know, you've really got to watch it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But anyway, I mean, one of the good things is that Bill Walker, who's... who you met today, who comes over and helps me. He's been through all that trouble. He's seen it hundreds of times. So every time we're about to go off to a rally, he turns up at the house with flowers for my wife and a box of chocolates and Easter eggs for the children. So he's got it right.
Yeah, clever stuff, that. I really must have a do.
He's quite right. No, he does the right thing.
Bunch of flowers goes a long way, doesn't it?
Yeah, especially before a rally.
Do you think it runs any better?
Certainly does. It's a hell of a lot quieter
Yeah.
apart from the gears.
Yeah, that's it's a shame about that.
That's another job. But there was no knocks.
Yeah.
Nothing ran hot.
Yeah.
And I think we got here in record time.
We did get here in record time compared with 3 years ago, didn't we?
Yeah.
We ended up at 11:30 on that bridge over there. You know.
We also didn't stop at a pub this time, right?
No, we didn't stop at any pubs, did we? We brought our own.
No.
I know one lad who fell off. He fell about 60 feet and landed on a load of planks across a valley on the top of a building, you know, in between two roofs, like. And of course, really, the plank saved his life, you know. I mean, must have broke his fall, even though it rearranged his bone structure. The thing is that I found out about this because I rang him one evening to invite him to a chimney felling operation. And his little lass come on and said, I said, is your dad in? You know, she said, no, he fell off a chimney. and you shouldn't laugh, really. And then Mum come on and said, oh, he's in Tameside Hospital. You can go and see him if you want. And me and Sue went round having, and he were all thrust up like you see in these Ealing studio comedies, you know, all wires and strings. And he said, I'm all right till I laugh, and then it feels like somebody's hit me in the chest with a sledgehammer. You know, anyway, he's all right now, and he's back steeplejacking again. You know, he's walking about in the land of the living.
He went to art school. He was about 17, you'd think he'd work in office, not doing what he does now.
If I don't go now do for a fortnight, I get all grumpy, you know. I get thinking like, I'm bloody dying, nobody wants me no more. Like, gotta go and have a climb up something, you see. If I can carry on till, you know, I'm an old fella, like, you know, I don't know, I suppose slow down a bit before I'm 70, but the ideal way out would be, I think, instead of dying in bed of lung cancer or something horrible like that, just drop off one sunny day when I'm about 75, you know, and that'll be the end.